to complete this quirky FPS night. We've got Conception running Bugsnax, no major skips. Conception, take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be a part of AIMBOT. That is something I didn't think I would say as somebody who does not run the traditional FPS, but Bugsnax sneaks under the wire on this funky Tuesday. So I appreciate it. And also wanted to say congrats to Amy for getting in on that games committee. That was huge news. So GG's on that, friend. So Bugsnax. Here we are. We're going to be doing no major skips. I've run any percent on this channel across different shows before, which is a very different run. We go out of bounds a lot in that run. We use a lot of exploits. We finish the run in like 17 minutes. This one's a little bit longer. We're going to be basically doing the game as intended, quote unquote, which this category could also just be called no loading zones early, but that's a little wordy. So first, let's have Amy pick me a color between orange, yellow, green, or black as to what our character could be.
Orange, yellow, green, or black?
Yep.
Green.
Great choice. That's my favorite color. All right. So timing's a little bit weird. I'm going to load in and I'll just do my best to cue you in on the clock because it's kind of on load in instead of new game. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. That was a little rushed at the end. My bad. I tried to time it out as best as I could. Okay, so Bugsnax. What is this game? This right here is a Bugsnax. Right here on my little mic stand. That's a Strabby. And Bugsnax are bugs and snacks, and that's just how it is. So we're going to be doing since it is no major skips, we're naturally going to be starting with a somewhat major skip, I would say. The first and only real skip in this game that we're going to do is right here. As you can see, I'm out of bounds, walking on absolutely nothing. I'm going to come over here, jump on this tree. And what this skips is actually no gameplay at all. It just skips a very long cutscene, about 3 minutes long. And we get right to the missions, which is what we really would like to do. We're going to scan that Strabby, talk to our good friend Philbo here. I'll kind of explain, I'll do my best to explain what the lore that's going on here, because I definitely would love for more people to check this game out. It is an absolute gem. We're going to catch our very first Bugsnax and feed it to Philbo right away. That's right, they eat these giant Bugsnax, and then we're going to do a couple of quick catches here. So we're first going to be very sneaky, throw that trap there. All right, we got one. We're going to jump up here and be still a little bit sneaky, keeping an eye on that Strabby there. Throw the trap. And then we're going to do a quick jump and hopefully get this. Yeah, that's how you do it. All right, so we catch all 3 of those snacks back to back. Basically, we're doing all of the story quests, again, as intended. I could very easily get out of bounds and be basically halfway done with the run by the end of this little segment here. So we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing all of the quests as intended. So we get a first quest here with Philbo to feed 1 Bugsnax and then 3 Bugsnax. It doesn't matter what they are. So we just pick the 3 quickest and then on we go to Garden Grove. So Garden Grove. Garden Grove is a section of the game that does not change no matter what category you're playing. Even if you're playing the any percent category, you can get out of bounds here. However, the loading zones will not activate at all until you complete the quests in this area. So even if you wanted to get out of bounds, it doesn't help. So we're going to be doing this largely the same as we would in any category, but that doesn't mean that there isn't, it's fair bit of tech here that I'm going to try to pull off. So first we're going to get our FPS action in here right away. Now we got our slingshot, so we're going to grab some ketchup, we're going to fling, look at that, it's an FPS show. All right, and then we're going to fling 1 there and 1 there. I'll explain a little bit about what that is here. I'm going to be trying to catch a Bugsnax through the floor. Got it. Ooh, you love to see that. That goes exactly as planned. The alternative there, so the Bugsnax I just caught through the floor, you might have caught it, is a Frider. Friders are naturally attracted to ketchup. Hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. There we go. So the alternative there is to throw some ketchup on the floor so it comes down from the ceiling, and then you capture it that way, but that is awfully slow. We don't want to have to do that. So we move on to catching all the Bugsnax that we need, and then we're going to turn in all the quests at once. That's going to be a very common pattern here. The game is very generous and allows you to do anything in pretty much any quests in the area in any order that you want, and then you can just mass turn them in, kind of like it's like, I don't know, World of Warcraft or something like that. as opposed to having to do a quest, run back, do a quest, run back. So it at least is a little bit generous that way. The rest of this little bit of a section here is mainly just tutorial-like stuff. We're going to run super fast here. We're going to get around Philbo. He moves a little slow for our liking. We're going to run into this little cove, grab that book, and then basically that book is a journal that is it's our start menu, essentially. It's where we can use our map and fast travel and look at our Bugsnax, look at our clues and all that. So the game is just teaching us how to use it, but we catch it while we can. Worth noting, I am playing on the PlayStation 5 version of this game. You can play this game on literally any system now. At first, it was only for PlayStation and for Epic Games Store PC. However, now it is on Steam. It is on all kinds of different things. Yeah, it's definitely accessible now. The only major difference is that, you know, when you're playing on console, you got to do a lot of mashing. It's unfortunate, but it's true. On PC, what players will tend to do is bind scrolling to the mouse wheel so that they do not have to worry about pressing a button. They'll just, you know, scroll the mouse wheel up and down, and that they're able to get through text a lot faster than me just trying my darndest to get through it. So it's a little bit faster that way.
The true G502 experience.
Yep. Oops. There we go. Yeah, I am a little bit jealous of that, but I was lucky enough to get a PS5 at launch somehow. So I've had it since the day the system came out, and that I was looking for games to play. They didn't have a lot of games to play at the time, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna play Bugsnax. So naturally, I'm gonna play it the way that I can, which is on PlayStation, and it was free when the PlayStation 5 came out at the time. It was one of the PS Plus games. So naturally, I elected to play it for free, got used to it that way, and then I haven't looked back. All right, we're immediately doing some parkour here, getting some quests done for Beffica. You can see there's quite literally a colorful cast of characters here. And what we're doing is they're all split up across different biomes in the game, and we need to get them to return by doing various quests. And then that will help progress the story in a natural way. So there's basically 12 different people that we have to get to return, and we will be doing them as fast as we can. Now, one great feature here. So you can see here I'm fast traveling from the menu. That was not always the case. For the longest time, we could not do that. Then it was patched into the PC version of the game only for a while, and console did not have it all the way until a very recent content update called the Isle of Big Snacks came out, and then everyone then had access to fast travel, and that saves us a lot of time in this category because there's a lot of walking back and forth that we would have to do. But luckily, we do not have to do that anymore, so we can fast travel when appropriate. But those 3 quests are down. Beffica is now returned, so we've gotten those 3 back exactly. Philbo, Wambus, the farmer, and Beffica, who's characteristically like a gossiper. She's nosy. She likes to get in people's business and find out their secrets and stuff like that. We're going to meet a few more characters here, and we're going to be introduced to some excellent vocals. But first, we're going to meet our dear friend Floofty. Now, Floofty is a non-binary Grumpus. Grumpus is the type of creature that they are, these furry humanoid creatures. And Floofty is non-binary and uses they/them pronouns. So that is pretty cool.
Very good.
We are going to see a little bit more of Floofty later. We don't even know that their name is Floofty at that point, but I've played this game once or twice. And then we're going to meet both Gramble and Wiggle and just enjoy the dulcet tones for a second. She did not have to go that hard for us, but she did, you know? Give that voice actress all the awards. But that is Wiggle. Wiggle is a one-hit wonder sensation in the pop music world, and this is Gramble, who is, I like to affectionately refer to him as the Bugsnax vegan. very against eating Bugsnax, unlike the rest of the crew, and instead of eating Bugsnax, likes to take care of them in a farm, a little sanctuary. That is going to make some complications for us. We have a new tool here that is called the Buggy Ball. Now, what the game intends for us to do there is take the Buggy Ball through a maze in order for us to learn how to use said Buggy Ball. We are not going to be doing that. You can just use target the Buggy Ball at the end of the maze, and it will complete it automatically, which is pretty handy. So while it's completing the maze, we're going to be doing a few necessary catches in order to expedite this process. I'm going to try to throw some strategic chocolate. That is a thing. All right, let's see. That worked out okay. Not as fast as I would have liked. Oh, I didn't need both, but okay. I got the crapple too. We'll take that. I just needed the Pineapple. We're going to throw that there. And now that the Buggy Ball is completed its course, we're going to launch it there. And you'll see what that trap is for as well here shortly. But for now, we're going to talk to Wiggle. All right, so Wiggle first wants to turn her hair into a Pineapple, styling. Already throwing it back to Fashion Police Squad here. Excellent run, by the way. That was really well done by Dane. And of course, we're going to turn her hand into a grape because what else are you going to do? All right, so that is going to launch an orange peel bug. Please give me that. And we're going to put a ball here. I'm going to very carefully place some chocolate on said ball because there is a quest for Gramble to get 2 Kweebles to him. However, again, vegan, so not really into the whole idea of trapping Bugsnax. Not really his jam. So we have to get them there the old-fashioned way, which is by luring them. Now, this is really complicated to do with 2, especially if they get really close to each other. As long as they get up this hill, we're fine, and we're fine because they got up there. But they love to run into each other and spook each other and create problems, but we just like that right at the end. But they're already up here, so we don't have to worry about it too much. And we could talk to Bramble here to start completing the quest line. Now, he has to walk over here anyway, so we're going to take the liberty of sleeping until noon because it doesn't slow down any of the other process. We have to wait for that last Kweeble to get in here. Come on. There we go. The reason why we wanted to sleep until noon there, by the way, is if currently we were in a nighttime cycle, and that doesn't really affect anything too much in terms of the speed run. The only thing it affects is that the people that are already back in the town, they would not be in walking around, they would be asleep. And you have to wake them up, and that is a long animation. It's usually about 5 seconds per time you have to wake them up, so we just try to mitigate that as much as we possibly can. Luckily enough for us, the game stays on a consistent pattern from when you start a new file to when you continue to go, so we know specific times as to when we can sleep that it's most optimal. Now, fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, we're in the first of what I call parties or celebrations that occur in the No Major Skips run here. So whenever you get a certain amount of people back, so for example, we have Gramble back now, we have Beffica, Wambus, Bilbo, they're all back. Philbo's going to start getting a little bit more progressively more and more excited, and he's going to want to throw these little parties because the gang's all getting back together, and he's getting pretty psyched up about it. They are not really anything more than glorified cutscenes, unfortunately, though, and they tend to be pretty long because they explain a lot of lore. They're meant to set up lore pieces as to where the next characters are, what's going on in the story. They're kind of like little chapter checkpoints. Nothing I can do to accelerate the dialogue, nothing I can do besides just sit here and let them finish. Now, the first one is faster than the other ones, so this one isn't too long, but the second one, which is called Ghost Stories, is really long. We'll get there, but this one is already almost over. I thought I had all 3.
Don't you mean
It's become a meme to try to stack the flaming cups on top of the fire while we're waiting for this to complete. But I've only been able to get all 4 one time. It's really tough. All right. We also find out here, very important distinction in case you're wondering, we're somehow allergic to Bugsnax, so we can't eat them. In case you're wondering, how we get around that whole deal. We don't have to worry about it because we're allergic to Bugsnax. Presumably we just eat sauce or something. I don't really know. But we're not eating the Bugsnax. Everyone else is. That'll come into play later, perhaps. Now, we're in a new area called Scorch Gorge. This one is probably one of the more complicated areas to set up things. First, I'm going to throw a trap here. That Scorpion is going to throw a fireball. I'm going to make sure. I don't think I got the second. Did I get both? Well, we'll find out here in a second. I need to. Oh, well, I'm going to take the liberty of capturing this now. That was not intended for it to go that way, but you'll see perhaps in a little bit that the pop ticks. Oh, okay, the other one's over there, so that's fine. They're a little bit annoying to catch, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We're gonna jump up here after we open up that door. We're gonna do a little cheesing in more ways than one. If I can get the trap to set up. Nope. We're gonna do it on this side, perhaps. Nope. Okay, we're gonna try again on this side. There we go. That looks good. We're gonna catch a cheap hoof that way. We're gonna do a second round of cheesing. Nope. We're gonna miss that cycle and we're gonna fall down entirely, I guess. Feels bad. Feels bad. We're gonna catch this Ribblepede off the ground here. That Spuddy is going to try to ruin my life. We're going to hit an unnecessarily dialogue here, but it doesn't waste a lot of time. He's going to run over there. We're going to try and run back and get that sheep hoof real quick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get it later. Since I fell down, it's actually not faster to do it now. So this is the Cromdo. Cromdo is how I disaffectionately refer to Cromdo as kind of like the used car salesman of Bugsnax here. He's a scam artist. You know, he tries to rip people off with all kinds of various schemes and stuff like that. So he's not the most trustworthy guy. But he does give us one of the most useful tools in the game, which is the launch pad. So we got ways to launch our traps at a distance now, which is very good because we need to catch some things just that way. First, we're gonna get that sweet frieder. Luckily enough for us, the wind blows the trap off, so we don't have to worry about getting it. While we're set up in a good cycle here, we're gonna get this door unlocked. I bet he's gonna fall just short. Oh no, he got it. Excellent. You know what? Let's get the shy weenie worm here. We need to get a shy weenie worm anyway. I'm just waiting for it to get in my trap ever so slowly. There we go. Fun fact, that is called the shy weenie worm. Not only because it's shy and hides in caves and stuff like that, but it mimics a Chicago hot dog, which doesn't have ketchup on it. Oh yeah, I forgot I had the crapple here.
Oh my god, I didn't catch that the first time around when I played.
Yeah, no one does. That's always that one's a fun fact for me. And another fun fact about that too is if you do put ketchup on it, it grows really big and gets really mad because you do not put ketchup on a Chicago hot dog, and everybody knows this. So do not even try it. I have to go back. I'm all thrown off here because I caught that extra crapple, and also because I missed this cycle on the cheap hoof here, but we got it fixed. It's just a little slower than I would have liked. Not a big deal. We don't need any of those guys, so we're gonna run right past them. And we got our third of 3 cheap hoofs necessary. We're gonna go turn that into Cromdo. Now you're gonna see a pattern for these early biomes is very much that there's gonna be 2 characters in each biome, one of which is completely accessible to like everything that's within the biome, basically. Like I can finish a quest line with all the Bugsnax that are within the biome, and the other one is going to require a Bugsnax that's not in the biome yet. So for example, in the first one where Wiggle and Gramble were, I was able to get Gramble to come back, but Wiggle requires pop ticks, which are only in this area, so I couldn't finish Wiggle yet. Now Cromdo, I finished all the quests that I could, but he now needs Bopsicles, which I do not have yet. But luckily enough, we get to meet Triffany here, who is Wambus's wife and an archaeologist. She is pretty cool, and she's also from the Midwest, it seems, because she has that Minnesota accent. She's gonna run to the ruins. I'm gonna try to make a break for it and catch this other pop tick. Luckily enough for me, it's in a good position, but they are really tough to catch. I got it, nice. And then while she was running there, I caught the pop tick. So I had to wait for her to get here anyway. So it wastes very minimal time. Now I have to wait for her to run back anyway. So normally what we do is we catch both pop ticks up like that. And then I'll catch one on the way there and I'll catch the other on the way back. Dude, are you kidding? Thank you. You're ruining me. All right. Spuddies are very frustrating a lot of the time. All right. Shy weenie worm, and then Triffany's gonna come back to camp for us. All right, and good. Now we're gonna make a quick warp over to Simmering Springs where we were before, because if you remember, I said Wiggle needs 2 pop ticks. I now have 2 pop ticks, so we're gonna make our way over to Wiggle. Get her to come back as well. So if you're counting at home, I believe that is 6. Oops, 6 of the 12 already back. So we schmoove in this run for sure. We cut through it, and then we're gonna head back to Snacksburg here, and we're already gonna be at party number 2. All right, so we got to go here. One thing, so the DLC didn't really affect this run so much, besides this cutscene here, which adds a better 15 or 20 seconds to the run, but it's saved by the fact that we have fast travel now. It adds, the game added the ability for us to customize a hut of our own using furniture with all these quests and stuff like that. So Philbo has to tell us all about this, wastes a little bit of time. But from there, we get to party number 2. Now, this is Ghost Stories. I kid you not, this is basically an 8-minute cutscene where I don't do much besides move from one place to another. So we get to chill, we get to have fun, we get to talk to each other a little bit. Hope you're all enjoying Bugsnax so far. I kind of alluded to it already. Bugsnax is a game that has a very diverse cast in terms of LGBTQIA2+ representation. We talked about Floofty already, who is a non-binary character, uses they/them pronouns. Excellent. We also have, we're about to meet 2 new characters in this cutscene, Chanlo and Snorpy. They are in a relationship, and they are both male. And we also have another relationship in this game that's more of an in-game relationship between Eggabell and Lizbert, who was in charge of this whole camp before things got a little bit messy. And they are also in a relationship, and both females. So this game does a really good job of like showcasing loving relationships in the LGBTQIA2+ communities. Without it being, you know, it just exists. It just is. So it's really nice to see. One of the reasons why I really loved this game when it came out, just kind of captured me in that way. But highly suggest playing it. Like I said, it's everywhere now. You can play it on the Switch. I believe it's on Game Pass for both PC and Xbox, so you can play it there. It's obviously on PlayStation, as I'm playing it there now. Who's that? All right, never mind. And it is also on. It is now. If you're not crazy about Epic Games Store, don't worry. It is on Steam as well, so you can play it on both. So we get to move ever so slightly here to get a log for the fire, and then come back, and then we're sitting again. So still sitting here.
The zombies?
This game is queer, and we love that. Absolutely, yes. It is. It's really fun. Ghost Stories like that anime, not like that one. No. They're over here talking about some monster or the queen of Bugsnax. I don't know anything about all that. I'm not really paying attention. So
obviously we're not
none of that.
To make it to snack to.
But allow me to tell you a little bit about different categories you can run here as well. By the way, so this is no major skips. As you can see, the estimate's like right around the 115 mark. Optimistically, it's a little bit lower than that even. I had the pleasure of running Bugsnax any % actually as a part of Amy's One and Done-a-thon, the first iteration. So I was part of the inaugural class. That run is a lot shorter. That is like a set up top about a 17, 18-ish minute run, depending. So it's a nice quick run if you're looking for something to get into that's a little bit on the faster side. And then
it was a great run too.
Hey, thanks. I'm glad you liked it. But unfortunately, I'm dead now because I got erased from the board, and you know that's just how it goes.
Goodbye forever.
Yeah, goodbye forever. It can no longer be shown. So don't try to run it because you can't. It's gone. Then we have this category, of course, which is basically like the inbounds category.
Don't mess with my head.
We have 100%. Now, 100%, it's gotten a little bit more complicated with the DLC. So basically what we decided to do on the board is split it between the base game and the DLC. The reason why it complicates it, because it not only adds a new area to the game with its own Bugsnax, that's actually pretty self-explanatory, but it adds what we call mail quests, which is how you earn the furniture that you can put in your hut by doing these mail quests. It adds 110 mail quests. It adds also Bugsnax hats. So maybe if we're lucky, we'll see one. Probably not. But Bugsnax can now randomly have a little hat on. And there's 25 different hats to collect in the game as well. Luckily enough, after you catch your first hat, there's like a picture on the board that tells you where the next hat is hidden. So you just have to catch the first one kind of blind or without any prior knowledge. But after that, it gets a little bit easier. But yeah, so the base game roughly is about a 2 hour 100% category, and then the with DLC, I think world record stands just shy of 6 hours, so it's really long. And then a couple other like more miscellaneous categories. We also have all bosses, so we're not going to see it in this run, but this game has now 5. Base game has 4, and then the DLC added 1 more, what they call legendary Bugsnax, which are basically big boss fights that you have to shrink them down to size, shrink very large Bugsnax down to size, and be able to catch them. So we have a category for that, where we fight all the bosses in the game, both base game and DLC for that as well. And then last but not least, we have a DLC specific category, which we just call Isle of Big Snacks, which is where you start from a fresh file. You play to the point where the DLC unlocks, which is actually decently far into the game. You have to get about, I would say, like 75 or so percent through the main story, as well as complete like 3 different side quest lines. So that actually takes up a majority of the time. It takes about 40 minutes or so to get through all that. And then you get over to the DLC island and complete the main quest for that as well. So that's about the same length as No Major Skips Run, actually. I think each of my records of those categories are like 30 seconds apart or something like that. So they're pretty close. But that one is a more trick-heavy run than this one is. So has its own complications. But yeah, a little something for everybody. If you like glitches, we have those. If you prefer glitchless runs, we have those. Or if you prefer completionist categories, we got those. Just run Bugsnax. It's a great game. Can't suggest it enough.
Don't worry, Gramble. We'll go check it out.
And if you want to just play it casually, this game is incredible casually. Like,
yes,
this is probably my favorite game of 2020.
Yeah, I obviously would agree with that as well. It's just really good. The story is great. The mechanics, I guess, is what I would call them. You know, like actually catching the Bugsnax and solving these puzzles and figuring these things out. Wonderful. Highly suggested. Weirdly enough, in terms of the speedrunning community, and I'm sure this probably translates slightly to casual play, there's a big ape escape to Bugsnax pipeline. Like, it exists.
Don't worry, folks.
Like, a lot of people who ran Ape Escape also run Bugsnax, and I'm sure if you enjoyed Ape Escape, you probably would enjoy this. I actually have never played Ape Escape, so I don't know, but this game is awesome, so play it for sure.
So that's settled.
I told you I was not joking. This cutscene is very long, but we are almost finally done. We actually just met the good old Chad himself, Chandlo, and we're gonna see Chandlo. Yeah, Chandlo's everyone's favorite. Chandlo is just a himbo, pretty much. Like, he's a jock, but he's got a heart of gold. Yeah, and we're gonna meet him a little bit more along with his partner Smartby in the next area that we unlock Sugar Pine Woods here. But we finally got through the cutscene, believe it or not. So that's 2 of 4 parties here. We're gonna we'll start walking backwards, and we're gonna do Sugar Pine Woods, and we're gonna get a little saucy right away here in Sugar Pine Woods. So before, like I said, we try to preempt everything that we do. So we do all the catches that we need, and then turn in the quests at once. So we're gonna be a little funny here. We're gonna fling one Bugsnax at another, just like that. Throw that trap down, and then get out of the way a little bit. Hopefully this one, nope. What can happen here is that one of those honeybees can also stick to this Cinesnail, which would save us time, because then I can get a 2-for-1 special here. We're gonna climb on some geometry here and just free catch this guy. And that's all the catches we need for right now. We're gonna have to catch 1 more Bugsnax during the day and a few more at night. But yeah, basically I just caught 5 Bugsnax rapid fire right there. 1 Quookie, 2 honeybees, and 2 Cinesnails. So blink and you miss it. I'm gonna let this.
Lift in your crib, dog.
You gotta let that voice line play. Lift in your crib, dog. All right, so let's turn in some quests for Chandlo here. Actually, no, we gotta just talk to Chandlo here briefly, and then we're gonna talk to Snorpy. Snorpy's gonna hook us up with a really cool new tool called the Stat Grappler. That is gonna allow us to grab things from a distance, which is really handy. So we're gonna grab that, and then we're gonna be using that for some quests right here with our good pal Chandlo. Namely, we're gonna get his basketballs back. We need to get 3 in. We gotta get 3 and score them in the hoop. So, oops, we're gonna start that right away by grabbing that one. What just happened? Okay. Okay. All right. I don't know what any of that was. That has never happened before. I said it. But yeah. The game, I think, intends for us to shoot the basketballs in the baskets, by the way, but you just have to put them down there. You don't have to worry about it. I'm going to I'm going to close that, actually. Talk to Chandler to advance these 2 quests here. I'm actually going to set this trap up. You want to set it up a little bit farther away from the fence, or else you're just going to get clotheslined by the fence. We're going to close that, feed him 1 Snail for this quest. Doesn't matter how long I take on that other Snail because it's just stuck to its back, and we're going to make a run for it. While Chandler is running back to camp, we're going to take a pathway here. We're going to jump up here, and we're going to try to clip through this and get that trap a little early. That's not technically how you're intended to do it. You're supposed to get the quest, and it opens up a plank in the wall there. And then you can grab it with ease, but you can just kind of... Oh, no, I did that wrong. We're going to have to catch 2 more honeybees. I don't even know how I'm going to do that. I might have to reload a save or exit and come back. Exit, sleep, and come back. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, wait, no, there's more honeybees here. I know what I can do. Let's close this. I always forget there's a second little squad over there. We're gonna catch one. So the downside to catching everything you need in advance is you have to make sure that you submit them in order. Otherwise, if you feed them the snacks too early and then you get the quest, you just have to do the quest all over again. So that is immediate downside to what I'm doing here. I wasn't paying super close attention, and now I gotta catch some more honeybees. Oh, well, I'll just take that one. That's fine. We're gonna go turn those in again. So a little time lost there, but ultimately not the end of the world. Go turn those back in at Chandler here. He's just extra honeyed out. The drip is real. Now, so after you talk to Snorpy here, he tells you about this new trap, which is called the tripwire. And then that's when the gap in the wood would open up, and then you could catch it a little easier. But we already have it, so we just skip all that. And then we're going to feed him these cookies, making sure, of course, that they go on the teeth. We start getting very specific requests. Like, I would like my teeth specifically to turn into cookies. So you got to be a little bit more targeted with where you put your snacks. We're going to catch 2 char mallows. We're going to set a trap up there. We're going to hopefully get a good position on that. And we're going to get 1 and 2. And we're waiting for this thing to count down anyway, so come on over, friend. If you remember, our used car salesman type guy, Cromdo, needs 2 bopsicles. Now, it says bopsicles or big bopsicles, so we could get the big version if we wanted to, but it's easier to let it break and then get the 2 smaller pieces, because we need 2 of them anyway. We're going to feed the char mallows here, and then we're going to be on our way.
With that.
All right. So yeah, that is Sugar Pine Woods complete, and what makes this good is we actually get a 2-for-1 special here. They both return. It's the first biome to do that actually so far, and we take the opportunity now to return to Gorge. I'm actually going to try to showcase a little bit of a glitch here that I'm not so good at, but we're going to try it anyway, which is called the super bounce. So I'm going to put a trap here and hopefully get it to aim up like that. Then I'm going to try to super launch myself. Let's see. No. And then if I'm able to do it, I'll explain exactly what it is. That looks good. Yeah. All right. We'll take that. So what a super launch is so as you can see with the trap, you're able to set its distance. Hold on, I'm going to make sure I do this correctly after I messed up that last one. There we go. You're able to set its distance. However, we're very heavy. So we can't go the same distance as, say, any trap can. The traps are a lot lighter than we are. So whenever we stand on the super launcher, the launch pad rather, it changes the trajectory because we're too heavy. However, if you position it just so, and then you time it just right to where you're about to fall off the pad, but then you, right as it changes back to like that full gravity launch, you can actually launch yourself like you were launching a trap in terms of the same distance. So we use that to save a lot of time on complicated jumps, or in that case, instead of walking all the way to the end, climbing up the stairs, jumping up them one at a time, and then getting up there. So it can save a lot of time. In the Isle of Bugsnax category, we do a ton of super launches because we can skip a lot of puzzles that way in that category. Now, unfortunately, we're in the third party. Now, the third party kind of outlines here, there we go, that someone has broken into the camp and is doing nefarious things like vandalism, no more Bugsnax, and then there's a spade on the ground over here. I actually might be set up okay for this. Can I get that? After this dialogue continues, I can't move my feet here, but after this dialogue finishes up, what the game wants us to do is find 6 clues around the island signifying what's going on. Fortunately for us, we can get between 2 and 4 of those clues while we're standing still right here. 4 is very optimistic, but it's kind of hard to get. Basically, you can see these footprints that are just right behind Gramble's head there. That's one of them, but you have to position yourself really, really nicely in order to be able to get those. Otherwise, it's that Bugsnax sign, it's that spade on the ground, and it's these tracks over here that are pretty common. So 3 is the most common. But if you position yourself so poorly, you can actually cut yourself off from getting the spade as well. So little optimizations. We try to get 4, but 3 is most common. So we're about to break out here, so we can get the other clues. We're gonna get one here. We're gonna get, please get him away. We're gonna get one there, and then there's a lock on the ground. That actually doesn't unlock until the cutscene is over anyway, so I couldn't even get that one early if I wanted to. And then here we are. We're in another cutscene for like 5 minutes. So that is definitely the downside of this category. Because it's a no major skips category, you can't progress the story unless you're doing it by completing the main quest line. You unfortunately have to sit through these cutscenes. So keep that in mind if this is a category you ended up interested in running. Which for some people that's a good thing. You know, this run, which is relatively short, has a lot of bathroom breaks. So you know you got time. You can check your phone. You can go to the bathroom, do all that fun stuff. So definitely keep that in mind. But
let me ask you, Conception. What's your favorite? What's your favorite Bugsnax? What's your favorite Bugsnax in general? And then what's your favorite Bugsnax to catch? Like,
okay, great question. This is my favorite Bugsnax, which is the bunger. Yeah, I love the bunger. Really endearing sound effects, and like I'm also just like a big cheeseburger guy. As you can tell, I love putting the cheeseburgers away. I like eating them, so that's my favorite one. My favorite Bugsnax to catch.
A lot safer before we came back.
Oof.
Same goes for me and my little one.
They're
No, we shouldn't split up.
This is more of a speed running catch trick. But in the next area that we're about to go into, actually called Sizzling Sands. In some categories, we have to catch what's called a cheeser, which is like a little, you know, like those little cracker things that you had when you were a kid that are like, it's just like 2 Ritz crackers with cheese in the middle, basically.
Yep.
So if you're really quick, if you bolt out of the gate at the beginning of that, you can set yourself up where you throw a trap down and launch a tripwire like at a tree as soon as you can. And if you're really quick, it's like a quick draw and you get the cheeser before it leaves the cycle. And whenever I hit that, it just feels really good because I feel like a cowboy in a Western where I just have like the revolver and it just like out off. That one's pretty good. Just like from a casual perspective, one of my favorite ones to figure out how to catch and then subsequently catch was in Boiling Bay, which is another area we haven't been to yet. There is a different cheapoof that's called the Flaming Cheapoof. And it took me so long to figure out how to catch it because you have to extinguish it and then catch it. And there's just, it just sits in a pool of fire. Like there's nothing around that can extinguish it. So you have to get a little bit creative and figure out the best ways to catch it. And there's a really cool way to catch it by launching a big popsicle at it, essentially. And that's also really, really satisfying. So we are going to walk around them. I haven't actually determined if it's faster to walk or fast travel here. Probably fast travel is a little bit faster. The reason why we want to walk around, Triffany and Wambus there is that they actually have a cutscene. So if you get too close, they'll trigger the cutscene, which actually isn't a problem. We're actually just saving the cutscene for later specifically. Because we're going to need to talk to Wambus to do some interviews, and I'll go into why that is when we get there. But he is a lot closer to where we're going to be if he stays there in that cutscene as opposed to where he normally is, which is in the farm. So we're going to try and keep him there for as long as possible. But now we've branched off of all of Snacksburg's biomes that are immediately there. So now we're going into like the extended biomes here. So just past Scorch Gorge here, we have this new area called Sizzling Sands. We're gonna launch the Pocahontas into the water. You'll see why later, I guess, or not really. It's just part of a quest. So we're gonna grab this egg. We're gonna throw that at this Pocahontas. Please stop being mad at me, though. Get on it. Okay, good. I just need to launch it. I gotta extinguish this one as well. So, all right, there we go. That's pretty good. We're gonna get some hot sauce here. We're gonna get FPS again. Told you it was going to come back into play. We're going to get just to the side. Oh no, we're going to get flung by that flapjack rack there. Actually, we're going to hit that egg with some sauce so that Buffalocus there will extinguish it. I shouldn't have done it with this. Please let me out. This was a mistake. Oh, I did this in my most recent practice run as well. Usually I try to fling a Spuddy here instead to open this door. But I flung the flapjack rack instead because it came at me faster. But then I just get stuck in this cyclone of just nonstop annoyance. But we finally got out. All right, now this is the most annoying part. Oh, I didn't even hit it with chocolate. This is the most annoying part of this section here. We have to lure this black raspberry through this maze. And the reason why it's annoying is because we have these enchiritos that love to cause problems. Now, what I usually try to do is exactly what I'm doing here is I will throw some sauce on a rock so that they unburrow themselves, and then I will just get close to them because they are easily spooked. So I'll scare them so that they try to dive underground, and then they'll hit the rock instead. So that stuns them for 10 seconds. Easier said than done. They're a little bit finicky, and this black raspberry can also be on the finicky side. So I'm going to take this a little bit slower than normal because I can actually just ruin this pattern for no reason. But other than that, we just need to grab some cheese. There we go. And head on over to Shelda. So Shelda has a lot of weirdly specific quests. So first, we need to bring her 3 cheeses. Done. Second, we need to break 2 eggs. Done. 2 Eggler specifically. Third, we need to break 2 Pocahontases, and fourth, we need to escort that black raspberry from its underground pathway. So a lot of weird quests there, but overall not too shabby. So we're going to do this little puzzle, and that actually gets us to Boiling Bay. Now, Boiling Bay is an extension of. It's actually an extension off of Simmering Springs, that first ocean-y area, but there's a shortcut that you can take between the two. That's the same every time, so it's not too hard to memorize. We're gonna launch some cheese here. We're gonna get this noodler's attention. Not gonna catch ourselves on fire. Sometimes catching yourself on fire is a good idea, but not right now. We need to catch this noodler, so we're gonna extinguish it first. And we're going to be in an RNG heavy section here where I can't really control. We need to get a Banopper. Banoppers fly between trees here. Okay, I got really lucky and got it on an opening cycle, which is great. But it can hop between these 3 trees here, so it can be like really just a waiting game in terms of it picking the right trees. You're not extinguished though is the problem. I need you to be extinguished is the thing. Oh wait, no, darn. It extinguished for like the last second. All right, and then now I'm gonna catch myself on fire because you run ever so slightly faster when you're on fire. We're gonna go talk to our good pal Floofty, who we met earlier. Now Floofty has a little bit of a glitch in them as well. So first we're going to turn their hand into a red banopera as requested. So the second and third quests, basically, Luffy introduces this thing where we can target any limb with a Bugsnax they've already eaten. So we can change them to whatever they've already eaten. So we have a quest to change the banopera hand into a Strabby, and then the Cocomites, whoops. The banopera hand into a Strabby, and then their peg leg into a Strabby as well. But if you just go right and you have little Bugsnax in your inventory, for some reason it lets you do 2 quests at once, and I'm not really sure why. If you have too many snacks in your inventory, it doesn't let you do it. So it seems to be, the sweet magic number seems to be 3 there. We're gonna light ourselves on fire. We're gonna grab this clue, which is gonna be necessary for the end game, and we're going to fast travel back to Snacksburg here. All right, so like I said, we need to do a couple of interviews. Now, the interviews, what does that mean exactly? That doesn't really make sense. Our character is actually a journalist who has come to this island to figure out what Bugsnax are all about and to figure out what the inhabitants are doing on this island, basically. So part of the quest lines for the side quest lines, I should say, is learning about each character by interviewing them and then doing their side quests. And that way the game really opens you up to the idea of learning who these characters are as people and their motivations and stuff like that, which is really cool. But we just are going to surface level do a few interviews. And the only reason why we're doing interviews here is because they have important clues that are necessary for the end game, basically getting through the last door. So we're not going to be interviewing everybody. We're going to only be interviewing the people who have clues that we need. So we're going to interview Wambus, which we just did. We're going to interview Gramble here. We're going to interview Snorpy, and we're going to interview Triffany. And those are the 4 that we're going to need for all the clues. Lisbert, who I kind of talked about before. Lisbert is a character who is the leader of this ragtag group of grumpuses here. And she has mysteriously disappeared. And all these clues that we're finding are trying to help us figure out where she has disappeared to and what's going on with the island. So that is key to the end game. So we need to get all of the necessary clues. And that's basically what we're doing.
An entrance you must be.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I see some in the chat. Definitely suggest this game. Big shout outs to the music as well. Not only the score for the game, but the soundtrack, the main song by Carico Bonito. Just an absolute banger. Listen to the music, play the game. Can't suggest it enough. Just do it.
It's a map.
Yeah, the theme song is what drew me into the game at first because I really like KKB. It's great. Absolutely stellar theme song, and then I played the game, and the game was awesome. So, yeah, this game. So this game is developed by Young Horses, by the way. If you might have heard of Young Horses if you played the game Octodad, they are the same developers. So yeah, highly suggest checking them out because they are very, very fun. They were most recently, I think that I saw them in the news for they have moved to a work model that allows their workers to do 4 days a week, 32 hours a week. And they've seen just an uptick in performance and, employee satisfaction and stuff like that, which is really, really cool to see. That being said, we are in our final biome, kind of. We're going to have a couple other areas, but this is our last biome, where snacks are involved, really. We're going to get some peanut butter, and we're going to catch this Mount Sodi here. That's going to be an important bug snack, and we're going to go run in and talk to Eggabell. Eggabell being Lisbert's partner. she is trying to find trying to find Lisbert, rather. She's probably more motivated than most to find her because they're together. She's going to make a long walk to the bottom of this mountain, and we have to wait for her there to move on with the quest. While we're doing that, though, we're going to be catching some bug snacks that we need. So we already caught one, which was the Mount Sodi. We're going to catch this Chippy, just a walking chocolate chip cookie. And then we're going to pull out our peanut butter that we just grabbed, and we're going to hit the Flutter Jam right here with some peanut butter and make a true and proper peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Grab that, fall down here. And now, instead of waiting on Eggabell waiting on us, we're waiting on Eggabell to finish her deal. Come on over. All right, so she got some quests. We basically, it's find all the clues necessary to open this door behind me.
Good.
So now we need to activate these 3 statues, which is exactly the 3 snacks that I just caught. Basically, as you can see, there's 6 statues here that all represent a different bug snack. She says, hey, you catch half, I'll get the other half. So we just catch the 3 fastest bug snacks, essentially. And believe it or not, that's, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think, that is the last bug snacks catch that we do in the run. So we're making our way.
The sides don't matter?
The sides don't matter. Nope.
Oh my god.
Like you were trying, you did all one side?
I'm pretty sure I did all of one side.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. You just have to pick a random 3. Yep. Any random 3. So if you ever played again, yeah, highly suggest the Mount Sody Chippy Flutter Jam combo. Also, if you're hungry, I highly suggest the Mountain Dew peanut butter and jelly sandwich and chocolate chip cookies because that sounds pretty good too.
You're so different.
But yeah, we're on what I like to call walking simulator here. We get these two long walking segments. Fun fact here for this, we actually do have access to our tools, as you can see there. One runner named Recount of this game, I believe it was Recount at least, was fooling around during this part and hit Philbo with some sauce in the face just for fun. And Philbo stopped and turned around and would not move. So not only was it creepy, you know, in a, like Five Nights at Freddy's kind of way or something, it soft locked the game. So we cut the shenanigans out here.
Right.
But yeah, we can't run there. We can't expedite the process. The best thing we could try to do would be to super launch ourselves, but super launch is really based off of momentum. So either jumping momentum or running momentum. We can jump, but it's not as fast as, you know, running and jumping. So it's a little bit tough. And even so, we still have to wait for them to arrive anyway. So even if we got ahead, it doesn't affect anything. So not much we can do here. We finish out this quest, and we're actually basically in the end game here.
Thank you.
So we're actually going to see that right now. Not Sugar Pine. We're going to go to Snacksburg. We're going to go back. Philbo's going to be ready for that 4th and final party. That final celebration. The game actually will give us a warning here that says, hey, this is the point of no return. You're not going to be able to do anything when, you know, so make sure like you're good. You did everything you needed to do here. All right, I think I got the right. I think I hit that first button. We're going to find out here in a second. So we're going to just throw a cup over there. This is all going to look very confusing for a second.
I understand you.
Basically, what we need to do for the 4th celebration is get everybody to dance around the fire. Everyone has different conditions. So for example, Shelda here on the right will not dance until that orb over her head is broken. So what I do is I preemptively hold a cup, and then as the cutscene triggers, the cup automatically lets go.
OMG.
So that gets 1 down. Philbo will come automatically. For Beffica, you have to play her favorite song on the radio, which is what I did right at the beginning. Hit the radio 3 times. That gets her there. Wambus needs a little liquid courage so he can go apologize to Gramble. Where's that cup I threw? Oh, there it is. So they apologize. Gramble won't dance until Wambus apologizes anyway, so they both go off. Wiggle also needs a little liquid courage. There you go. Also, that straw in the cup came out of nowhere. It wasn't there before. Also, I'm throwing empty cups, so I don't know what they're drinking. No idea. We have to talk to Floofty here. Floofty believes that there is no purpose to dancing because Floofty is a very experimental and scientific mind. Triffany over here is going to talk about the cultural significance of dancing. Floofty's going to buy into that, and they're going to go dancing together.
I'm all talking.
Snorpy won't dance until he has a conversation with his partner Chandlo, where he's kind of a little bit unsure as to where they stand in their relationship. And Chandlo is just kind of like, I love you, man. We've been dating for years. This is great. And so Snorpy feels better about that. They go off and dance. And then Cromdo, the last one there that I take care of in between, will just dance once you remove 2 cups from the table. That's all you have to do for that one. And here we are. That's actually all we do for the final party. The rest is just another cutscene. So, yeah. There's some more long cutscene, more exposition as to what's happening in the story. You know, everything's fine. Everyone's partying, and I don't foresee anything bad happening. I can't really see it. definitely no omens of doom. Our end is certainly not nigh, so I wouldn't think that.
Our end is
Yeah, I mean, this has been just a genuinely, unironically, up until this point, this game has been like pretty normal.
Metaphor?
And then it takes a twist, a little bit of a twist. No, it's been, as you can see, this game's very colorful. It's very lively. It gets
You okay, buddy?
a little dark. Some even have alluded to the end of this game being a horror-like.
Oh,
I don't really go horror with this. It doesn't. I don't think there's really anything scary unless you're like triggered by like body horror stuff, like like having a carrot for a hand, for example. That's probably a little disturbing to some people. But in terms of like, nothing scary happens. But it gets a little dark. It gets a little emotional in the end. It can actually get really dark. I'll talk about this a little bit. So this game has a good ending and a bad ending, actually.
Bad timing.
The what makes this game interesting is, from a speedrun perspective, typically a game that has a good ending and bad ending, the bad ending will be faster because the good ending will have some extra qualification that you have to do to satisfy that, right? But in this game, it's actually faster by a lot to get the good ending than the bad ending. What happens in the bad ending is if you do nobody's side quest. So actually, I haven't done anybody's side quest line in this. I just do the main quest. Oops. So if you do nobody's side quests, anyone that you haven't done their entire side quest line actually has a chance of dying in the end. Like dying. Like if you saw Avengers Infinity War at the end when they're all starting to turn to dust, it's very much like that, spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen that movie. But yeah, everyone starts turning to dust and they start saying like all these sad words. And the way that happens is in this like in-game rundown that we call the Gauntlet.
Hey, everybody.
If they get overcome by Bugsnax, basically, too many Bugsnax in their system, they'll start to turn to dust. But that takes a lot longer because you have to fail these mini games and stuff in order for that to happen. So it's sad and it's long. So don't do it. Just be good. Just get the happy ending, and it's a little bit more smiles.
Liz is in danger.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know there was an alternate. I didn't know there was a bad ending.
Yeah,
Because obviously I played it once and I got the good ending.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to get the bad ending, to be honest. You have to actively not play most of the game, like in terms of the side quests. You got to pretty much not play any of it. And then you have to fail the end so hard that people start dying. So it's
Which is
hard
incredible.
to get. Yeah, it's hard to get. Or the other alternative is, so as you can see, people's limbs turn into Bugsnax when you feed them. That's kind of the gimmick of the Bugsnax. You eat a Bugsnax, your limb turns into the Bugsnax that you just ate, right? I believe there are 14 points on a Grumpus body here that you can turn into a Bugsnax. It's like 3 on the head, the face, the body, the upper arm, the lower arm, the upper arm, the lower arm, the upper leg, the lower leg, the upper leg, the lower leg. So it's like 14 Bugsnax. You can feed them all entirely. So like you can feed them 14 Bugsnax so they're transformed and then just like barely fail the end and trigger it. But you'd also have to not do their side quests. So it's just, the game rewards you for caring, basically. So, yeah, just play the game as it is.
Yeah, I know. Snarfty, right? Floofty. Floofty has a storyline where you have to transform every single part of their body.
Yep, that is correct. So like if you go all the way to the end of Floofty's quest line, but then don't finish it, that's a good way to get Floofty to die in the end. You can just because they're already fully transformed, all they have to do is eat one more Bugsnax in the end, and then they'll die. Yeah. For some reason here, I think because they have like this walking cutscene and conversation stuff, I can't fast travel here. I have to do the long walks. So as opposed to me just going right to Frosted Peak, I have to walk through Sugar Pine Woods into Frosted Peak here. And then we have the one last walk down the mountain. Now, if you've seen the any percent run before or just interested in it in general, the any percent run gets to it starts at the beginning. It does that cutscene skip I did, right? It skips the Filbo quest. It has to do Garden Grove the way I did it, with like catching the Frider through the floor and all that. You have to do that. You can't skip it. Then you get into Snacksburg. You jump over a river by climbing on some roofs, and you get into Sugar Pine Woods early. and then you scale the mountain to get out of bounds and get into the Frosted Peak loading zone early, so this area. And then you can run all the way down here to the door, and you can clip through this door. Oh, actually, we want to keep going forward. You can clip through this door and then get to where we're about to be in a second, all within about 5.5 minutes. It's pretty fast.
I guess even
So all this, what are we, like 50-something minutes in now? Yeah, all this.
Nobody's perfect, right?
You know, if you'd rather do it in 5 minutes, you certainly can. And it's not that hard to do, to be honest. This is a very speedrunner friendly game. Not only in terms of like the technique involved in the speedruns themselves, but also the developers are very speedrun friendly. When the Isle of Bugsnax DLC came out, they actually accidentally patched out one of the early game skips because they were worried that casual players would come back to that area and use tools, and they would get themselves out of bounds way too easily. However, we brought it up in the Discord server for Young Horses, and they were thinking like, oh, well, the first time you're through there, you don't have tools. So unless you're specifically speedrunning, you won't get out of bounds very easily. So you know what? We'll patch the skip back in. And they did. They patched the skip back in. So they're very speedrunner friendly. This game has been... all of these glitches that have occurred in the game and skips and stuff were found very early, like within days after the game's release. They've known about them since then, and they encourage and are happy that people are playing their game in this way. So we love to see that. Hope more developers take note of that in the future, because it's really good. Here we are, by the way, in the Undersnacks. This is below the mountain. This is what's causing all the disruption on the island. It's making the island explode. And believe it or not, this is Lizbert. Lizbert has turned into a creature called the Queen of Bugsnax. As you can see, she's kind of a very large creature. Spoiler alert for the lore if you're interested, I guess. What happens here is that basically Lizbert went underground she was able to determine that Bugsnax were making this island unstable, and they needed to be controlled. Otherwise, they were going to run amok, destroy the island, and take over anybody that was on the island. So she comes down here, she basically sacrifices herself to become the Queen of Bugsnax and uses her sheer willpower to control the Bugsnax as much as she can so they don't take over and they kind of just like, you know, live hospitably. But her power only goes so far. So the island is starting to collapse and everyone's in danger. Fun little glitch here. I trigger a conversation here and actually makes that loading zone activate like 3 seconds early for some reason.
I mean, that's definitely why people thought it was horror, is that whole section.
Yeah, you go under there and it's just snacks on the walls and everyone looking ominously at you, and then there's this like basically snakehead creature telling you like, hey, I'm actually a good guy, you know, so it's a little bit spooky for sure. But Egabelle sacrifices herself there to join in with Lizbert in order for us to get just enough time so that we can get off the island. I nailed an excellent parkour trick off a very thin pole. It lets me skip across the treetops as opposed to falling down a level and then climbing up a bridge. So it saves about 2 seconds, but it's also just really cool looking. It's very Mirror's Edge-esque, if you will. If you know, if this game could be compared to Mirror's Edge at any point, it would be there. And here we are in the Gauntlet. This is what I was talking about. So the Gauntlet is a series of basically 6 mini games, for lack of a better term. Or just like small activities. We're going to use all the traps that we've earned throughout the game, but the traps have been adjusted by Snorpy as opposed to being capturing traps. They're more like destruction traps. So instead of this being a snack trap, this is more of a snack chop. We're chopping some Bugsnax because they're starting to turn on us. We're going to wait for that one to enter the range. Wait a second and jump backwards. And we're actually right here in the next area. So that's one mini game down. We have Floofty and Shelda here. So our snack grappler has a boxing glove at the end, so it's more of a punching mechanism now. You're meant to stand here and punch forward and just hit them all, but if you come around the side, you can usually hit them all in one punch like that. It's definitely a lot faster if it works properly. Oh boy. We're gonna take a long berth out that way, and we're gonna add, there's 4 Bugsnax. I think 1 got out. Yeah, 2 got out. Interesting. So we capture those, and we got Picantis here. We're actually gonna get behind them and hit them forward, as opposed to hitting them like into the barn here that we're standing in. The reason why we do that, it's actually faster to do it this way. We hit them towards Shelda and Floofty, because as you can see with the Picantis, it's a larger Bugsnax made of 3 smaller Bugsnax. So when you destroy a Picantis, it breaks into those smaller Bugsnax, so you got to destroy those too, right? But if you get behind them and hit them forward towards Shelda and Floofty, they'll actually start eating the Bugsnax. They'll start chomping on them, which really speeds that process up, as opposed to having to hit like a bunch of different Bugsnax with the boxing glove. This one with Chanlo and Snorpy is just a tripwire minigame. There's actually no way to do this slower or faster because they are all on a set timer as to when they spawn. So even if I don't tripwire them here, they'll still spawn at the same times. So it doesn't matter. The only one that matters, obviously, is the last phase because we want to hit the last option with the tripwire as fast as possible so we can transition to the next activity. So not much here of note. But yeah, as you can see, the Bugsnax are kind of attacking us here, right? So if for some reason I did all these mini games super poorly and let every Bugsnax get to them, then it would start becoming a problem as to them might being able to pass away. But we're not going to do that. What I tried to do there at the end of that mini game was jump into some like geometry in the floorboard there and kind of get myself wedged closer to this mini game. Because after you complete the tripwire thing, it tries to pull you closer to Chanlo and Snorpy. But I wasn't successful, but you can sometimes get yourself caught in there and be ever so slightly closer to the next challenge. Now this is barrels. This is by far the hardest to do fast. It requires precision not only in where you're placing the launch of the barrels, but also timing it and when you launch it. It's not super duper hard because the launching of barrels, you can like track them. If I placed my pointer specifically on the Bugsnax, I could launch a barrel and it'll kill the one Bugsnax immediately. However, what I'm trying to do instead is destroy the whole wave with one barrel because that's a lot faster. So far, so good. Let's see if I can keep it up. That might be a little early. Nope, we're good. That might be a little early. Nope, we're good. All right, so one last wave.
For chat, this is surprisingly hard to do what he's doing. Like, this is not exactly the easiest mini game.
No, yeah.
That's pretty nuts that you got all those in one shot. Because I think for your one and done-a-thon run, you missed a couple. So. Yeah,
I remember specifically that going a little bit hairy in my one and done-a-thon run. Like I said, it's very precise, not only where you place them, but in terms of when you launch them. But that is as fast as it can go. As you can see, every wave had 3 Bugsnax there, besides the last one, which has 5. So in the last wave, we launch a barrel. Low? There we go. We launch a barrel to destroy the middle 3, and then as the final 2 start to move in closer to each other, then we launch a barrel to try and get them in the same barrel as well. All of that went perfectly, even while I was explaining it, so that's pretty good. This mini game is pretty self-explanatory. We got a spiky ball. We're running over the Bugsnax with a spiky ball. Now their spawns are the same every time, so I know exactly where they're going to be. Like for example, there's just going to be a mystery spawn right here. Just spawns out of nowhere. Don't even come out of the ground. They just appear. So I kind of have a set pattern here. The only thing that finicky that can go here is actually the ball pattern can be a little bit strange. As you can kind of tell, the terrain that it's on right here is a little bit sloped downward. And a little bit sloped down to the left of the screen as well. So sometimes the ball won't want to stay straight. It'll just go start circling as opposed to staying like where I want it to stay, which can create a little bit of frustration, but that was pretty clean. And then last but not least here, we have the final mini game, which is accurate and appropriate because this is where we're shooting. We're FPSing here. We're flinging some sauce. We got a special sauce here. And all we got is
saucer.
Yeah, first person saucer, exactly. First person slingshot game. This is what this is. We make it work. We made it work. So what we do here, again, the patterns are all the same in terms of spawn. We're just going to place the sauce very precisely so that they travel the least amount of distance, just like that, and that they run into each other. I'm going to start preemptively placing sauce on the next patterns here so that they run into each other a little bit easier there. That actually stayed, so I didn't have to worry about that one, but I launched it anyway. Then we got a sauce here, here, and here. And we're gonna sauce it in reverse, same way. And then no run is complete unless you sauce Wambus. I didn't make the rules. Gotta sauce Wambus.
Does he have a reaction to that?
Yeah, he usually just goes, ow! And that's it. There's a couple of unwritten rules. One is you must sauce Wambus, and the second one actually comes up at the end here. One, let's see here. There's a little bit of a visual glitch that can occur here. It didn't happen. Okay. As you can see, we got on a ship there and it goes up a ramp. I can actually position myself where I'll go off the side of the ramp and I'll just get stuck in that corner. And the game doesn't really know what to do with the camera. So I just start like bobbling around there and it eventually just shoves me back on the boat automatically anyway. But it's a little bit slower in a visual glitch. But yeah, we're actually close to time, by the way. We're about, I don't know, 30 seconds out, I would say. We just have one last little basically cutscene and walking segment here. And we'll see what the second unwritten rule of speedruns is for this game.
I was always confused when Young Horses announced the Isle of Bugsnax DLC. I was like, okay, if they just got off the island, why would they go back?
Yeah. Well, so it actually occurs before the end of the story.
Yeah.
So they just kind of shoehorn it in there. Oops. I hey buddied. So that's not what you're supposed to do, which is when you accidentally don't trigger that dialogue, and you get turned back around.
I know.
Okay, and you have to be a little bit careful there as well. So there's a dialogue choice there. I actually forget what the choices are specifically. 3 choices. If you hit the second option instead of the third option, it actually takes you all the way back before the gauntlet. So you got to be careful. Time's coming up, by the way. And time. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. Sub 110.
Is the unwritten rule to bonk Philbo at the end?
Yes. Yeah, you have to pick up a shell, and then as you're triggering that cutscene, let the shell fly, and you bonk Philbo with the shell. Again, I don't make the rules; it's just what it is. So
perfect.
As we enjoy some Caro Bonita goodness here, does not trigger the MCA, by the way. Don't worry about it. Just a few shout outs here. Again, I kind of alluded to it throughout the run. This is a very accessible game in terms of speedrunning. It's on every console. We have a split on the board for console and PC so that you don't have to worry about load times if that is a concern of yours. So you can play on console, you can play on PC, and you don't have to feel as though you are behind because you don't have the most up-to-date hardware or anything like that. So come on and join us. Speedrun.com/Bugsnax. You can find our guides there and resources on our Discord server. We actually also have a subreddit, r/Bugsnax Speedrunning. It's largely inactive, but if you have some clips or something you want to post there or have questions, we're checking it. We got our eyes on it, so feel free. I also just wanted to shout out the GDQ team here. So Amy, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate being a part of the wacky FPS block. A little bit unusual. But I just love this game so much, so whenever I get to run it, it's always a pleasure. So thank you for allowing me to do so. And for Richard and everyone behind the scenes as well, I really appreciate you all hanging out and doing everything you do to make these streams as successful as they are. So much appreciated. Small little plug, if I might. I am also a GDQ Hotfix showrunner, in case you didn't know that. I run a show. It's actually the day before this show, always. So my show is called Awfully Silly, and it occurs on Mondays in the same week as AIMBOT here. And Awfully Silly features speedruns that would be featured in your favorite block of the mainline events, which is, of course, the Awful and the Silly block. So come check it out. We just had an episode yesterday where we did some of my favorite SGDQ Silly block runs, and Amy was a part of that in commentary for a Miscusi. So come check that out. And to briefly tease the next episode, it's going to be rat themed. We're going to have rat games. So yeah, we got some good rat games coming up. So come check that out in 2 weeks. So other than that, I think that's all I got. And yeah, my name's Conception. You can follow me on Twitch if you want. I've been pretty busy, so I haven't been streaming a lot myself. But yeah, come check me out if you'd like.
And yeah, again, I'll shout them out. Go watch Awfully Silly. It's really great. I was on it yesterday to commentate. Me Scoozy. Incredible run. I really love that game and the whole Awful and Silly block. I produce a lot of them when I work when I do work at the events because I'm usually working the overnight shift.
Overnight gang.
Yeah, Overnight Gang is great. So that's all for tonight for AIMBOT. Couple announcements and then I'll tease my next episode.